This is not going to be that long of a video, but I wanted to explain why I am not an integrationist. For starters, I have to mention two things. First being, the state should not be involved in any effort, be it integration or segregation. Two, just because I'm not an integrationist does not mean that I am a segregationist. What I will say is that I believe that society is going to be a lot better off with people having the freedom to voluntarily separate and segregate from others rather than having being forced to include another person or type of person, that is forced inclusion. When people hear the term segregation, they immediately start clutching their pearls, and that's completely understandable because they coincide the word segregation with the civil rights era, and that was a situation that took place in which the state was essentially mandating racism, mandating segregation. Has happened all across the South. When you talk about Jim Crow laws, even when you talk about federally mandated and upheld Supreme Court cases, I've talked about this article after article after article. With that being said, it is important that I define the terms that I'm using. When I say integration, I am saying to blend into a functioning or unified whole. When I say segregation, it is to simply separate from others or from the general mass. I don't consider myself an integrationist because I'm a libertarian. Therefore, I believe in private property rights. Inherent with private property rights comes exclusive rightful control of something. And even if you, let's say, own a road and you decide that I don't care who the person is, everybody's going to get access to it, they still are invited because you own that said road and you are the one deciding who can or cannot use it. And when you're dealing with cultures and human affairs, there is inevitably going to be people that are compatible and not compatible. They agree, they disagree with each other, they like or dislike each other. And for peace sakes, you're going to have to let them come to that decision to integrate or segregate voluntarily. And of course, you can say that's not beneficial to these people's living standards, but that's not for you to decide. They should have the freedom to do so. Yes, even if they want to separate or integrate by way of race, again, that's their right to decide. Now, you get these ridiculous kumbaya-tarians that believe everybody's equal and everybody's the same, love one another, yada, 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 yada. And it's such a naive way to look at life. It's almost as if they've never interacted with another human being. People have similarities, they have differences. And if those differences create some sort of tension, they need the freedom to be able to say, you know what, I ain't dealing with this. I'm out. They should have the freedom to do so for the sake of avoiding said tension and conflict. And that doesn't necessarily mean by way of neighborhood. I'm not saying that it's exclusive to saying, all right, we all think alike, so let's go live over there. I'm saying in any sort of human affair. On a personal tip, I think the whole idea of overemphasizing inclusion is whack as hell. If people want nothing to do with me, then I want nothing to do with them. And that's the problem with the Civil Rights Act, is that it basically made it illegal to be openly racist. So now we have these business owners who still are racist, of course, and now I'm lining their pockets. I may be buying their products, putting money in their pockets. Yes, I would much rather them have a sign that says, you know what, we don't like black people, so I know not to give you money. What kind of sucker would I be by saying, hey, you should be forced to take my money? What is that? There are those that think they're going to bring about a free society by trying to wipe away people's memories and cultures, and then they're just going to integrate and accept each other. That's not how this works, man. I, on the other hand, from a strategic standpoint, think this is absolutely moronic. Look, simply put, there are people that want to disassociate with other individuals, and they need to have the freedom to do so under libertarianism. And I think people are going to be more so open to embracing it by explaining them the reality. That is, look, you don't want to deal with that person. You don't want to deal with these types of people. So as long as you arrive to the situation voluntarily, you can absolutely do that. Again, the key to this is voluntarily, free of coercion, people being able to decide to integrate or segregate. Plus, that's what private property rights is all about. That's what makes it so beautiful. It's not about forcing people to integrate or segregate. It's about understanding that you have the freedom to do so. Plus, libertarianism has nothing to do with you guys' social preferences or accepting everybody anyway.